Ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels? Like, so busy but not really getting anywhere?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've all been there, stuck in that cycle of just, going through the motions.
Right. But wouldn't it be amazing to feel truly effective? Like every action actually moves us closer to what matters?
Absolutely. That's what we're diving into today.
It's all about doing the right things, not just doing things right. And for that, we turn to a classic, Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
A classic for sure. This book's been around for decades, but still so relevant.
It's crazy how timeless it is.
Right, and you know why? It's because it dives deep into these principles of character and personal growth, not just quick fixes or hacks.
Exactly. It's about building a solid foundation, both within ourselves and in how we interact with others.
That's the key. It's a holistic approach to effectiveness.
Okay, so let's unpack these habits. Covey starts with what he calls the private victory habits. So it's all about working on ourselves first, right?
Yeah, laying that groundwork. And the first habit is be proactive.
Okay, so be proactive. I think we all kind of get what that means, but how do we actually apply it in our daily lives, especially when things feel so out of control?
Well, Covey talks about this concept of the circle of influence. It's basically recognizing that there are things we can control and things we can't.
Right, so instead of stressing over things we can't change.
Exactly. We focus our energy on what we can influence. Like, imagine you're facing a tight deadline at work. A reactive person might freak out, blame others, get all stressed.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
But a proactive person would focus on, okay, what can I do right now to make progress? Maybe break the task down, communicate clearly with the team, or even just accept the situation and adapt.
So it's not about ignoring problems.
Not at all. It's about channeling our energy constructively, choosing to respond, not just react.
Okay, I love that. So we're being proactive, taking control of what we can. What's next?
Well, then it's about getting crystal clear on our direction, our purpose. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind.
Begin with the end in mind. This one always makes me think of setting goals.
It is about goals, but it goes deeper than that. It's about knowing your values. Like, what do you want your life to stand for? What kind of impact do you want to make?
Wow, that's pretty deep.
It is. It's about living intentionally so that at the end of your life, you can look back and say, yeah, that was a life well lived.
I love that. It's like writing your own eulogy, right? Figuring out what you wanted to say.
Exactly. And that brings us to the third habit. Put first things first.
This one feels pretty straightforward, but I feel like it's where a lot of us struggle.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of everyday life and lose sight of what's truly important.
Right. We've all been there. Scrolling through social media when you have a deadline looming.
That's a perfect example. Covey introduces this tool called the Eisenhower Matrix. It helps you prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. So, like, you have a report due tomorrow that's urgent and important.
Right. But then you might also have a long-term project that's important but not urgent. It's easy to get sucked into the urgent stuff. But mastering this habit means carving out time for those important but not urgent tasks.
So it's about proactive planning rather than reactive firefighting.
Exactly. Making sure your actions align with your values and goals.
Okay, so we've laid a strong foundation within ourselves.
Right.
We're being proactive, we know our values, and we're prioritizing effectively. But effectiveness isn't just about ourselves, right? It's also about how we interact with others.
Absolutely. And that's where Covey shifts to what he calls the public victory habits. And the first one is think win-win.
I love this one. But I think sometimes it can feel a little idealistic.
Oh, I know. It's not always easy. It's easy to fall into that trap of thinking that life is a zero-sum game. Like, for me to win, you have to lose.
Right, that dog-eat-dog mentality.
Exactly. But Covey challenges us to cultivate an abundance mindset, to believe that there's enough for everyone to succeed.
So how do we actually put that into practice? Especially in situations where there's inherent conflict.
It starts with the belief that collaboration can lead to solutions where everyone benefits. Like, imagine a tough negotiation. Instead of digging your heels in, try to understand the other person's needs and find creative ways to meet both parties' needs.
So it's about finding that common ground.
Yes, and that requires empathy, active listening, and a genuine desire to understand the other person's perspective.
Which brings us to the next habit, right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This one's huge.
It is, and it's so easy to forget. We're often so focused on getting our own point across that we don't truly listen to the other person.
Right. We're already formulating our response in our heads before they even finish speaking.
Exactly. But this habit encourages us to put aside our own agendas for a moment and really tune into what the other person is saying, feeling, and needing.
I love that. And I think that deep understanding is crucial for the next habit. Synergize.
It's the key. Synergy happens when you bring diverse perspectives and ideas together to create something greater than any individual could have achieved alone.
It's like that saying, two heads are better than one.
Right. Think about a team project where everyone brings their unique strengths and experiences to the table. The result is often a more creative and effective solution than anyone could have come up with on their own.
So it's about harnessing that collective genius.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. We've laid the foundation for personal effectiveness, built strong relationships. What's the final habit?
The final habit is all about maintaining and renewing ourselves. Sharpen the saw.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. You can't keep cutting wood with a dull saw, right? It takes effort to keep it sharp.
Makes sense. So we have to sharpen ourselves.
Exactly. It's about continuous self-renewal in 4 key dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Okay, break that down for me.
So physically, it's about taking care of your body, exercise, healthy eating, getting enough sleep. Mentally, it's about learning, reading, expanding your knowledge. Emotionally, it's about building strong relationships, managing your stress, and being self-aware. And spiritually, it's about connecting with something bigger than yourself, whether that's through nature, religion, or something else.
So it's like a holistic approach to self-care.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and neglect these areas, but they're essential for long-term well-being and effectiveness.
It's like running a marathon without ever stopping to stretch or hydrate. You might make it to the finish line, but you'll be exhausted and depleted.
Exactly. Sharpening the saw means taking time to recharge your batteries.
So looking at Covey's 7 habits as a whole, it's not just about productivity, right?
Not at all. It's about living a life of purpose and intention, aligning your actions with your values, nurturing strong relationships, and continuously growing as an individual.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination, and one that's definitely worth taking.
Definitely. And here's a final thought for our listeners to ponder. Covey believed that true effectiveness stemmed from strong character. As you reflect on these habits, ask yourself, what one character trait could you focus on developing to enhance your effectiveness? Could be patience, courage, integrity, or anything else that resonates with you.
It's an amazing challenge.
Yeah.
And a great place to start putting these habits into practice.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the 7 habits of highly effective people.
A timeless guide to living a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful discussions.
And share it with a friend who might benefit from these powerful habits.
Until next time, keep striving for effectiveness.
And keep sharpening that saw.